And so, Albert, I'm curious because in the two times that I've been fortunate enough to be able to see you perform, both times you,
Oh God.
uh, both times you, I remember distinctly talking a little bit to the audience about the music that you were about to perform. So
Hmm.
I'm curious, why do you think the skill of public speaking is important to have as a musician in the 21st century? And
Mm.
also, I'm curious if YCA or other management have
Hmm.
given you any help in that.
Hmm. Oh, they have. I remember
Mhm.
at some point early on before the pandemic, and it's something that's definitely encouraged. I think it's sort um of course, I mean, talking is no substitute for playing. That goes without saying. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter how good a speech you give if you
yeah.
if you don't play well, it's
Yeah, yeah,
you might as well. But I think, well, it helps. It can help connect with an audience
yeah.
as a performer. Um, and if you really have something to say or you did with a purpose, I
Mm.
think it can even enhance the experience of the audience in the
Yeah,
concert.
yeah.
But it's funny because at the same time, probably the artists that I admire the most from the past, they would sort of walk on stage with like this, not even with a smile, and sort of like bow and just get to the music.
Yeah,
Um, so I guess it doesn't, that doesn't mean you'll play a better concert or something, but I think there it's part of what we should show an effort for sort of appreciating the audience and helping them connect with the music better.
yeah,
Because, well, I've heard that so many times after concerts or backstage where people were like, "Oh, especially with music that is not as tonal or as easy to take in,"
mm-hmm.
where they were like, "We appreciate it so much, hearing what the music was about, and we could hear this or that." Or I guess there were always program notes
Mm-hmm.
too in the past and now.
Yeah,
So I think also maybe people enjoy having a personal connection to the artist,
yeah, yeah.
from the stage, because it's
Right,
such a weird thing we do. We're playing this instrument,
yeah,
and they were normal people
right.
like anyone else. So and then maybe sometimes if you have something to share, it can be interesting to learn something else about the music. It's not
Yeah,
just from the sound.
yeah,
But I it's definitely encouraged, and I think it sort of ties into a larger question of what our role is in society
yeah,
nowadays, and we should make an effort to, I mean, build audiences to help music education
yeah,
in any way we can, and to sort of not educate people sounds patronizing,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't think you need an education to enjoy classical music. It
Right,
just speaks to the soul directly, but
of course.
I think it helps. And a lot of people who go to concerts nowadays did study music when they were younger and they quit and they know
Right,
something about it.
right.
um so I think it's important, and yeah, I get told a lot, the more you do it, the better.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I think
yeah.
kind of like what you were saying earlier is because I mean, as a performer, when you're on stage, regardless of what stage you're on, there's almost like this kind of, you know, distance between the performers and the audience. And so
Yeah.
it's almost like there's this invisible barrier between the performer and
Yeah.
the audience. And I think if you're able to speak to the audience, that makes the whole concert going experience more human.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's why I mean I personally think more performers should be encouraged to give talks, or even if
Yeah.
not in the concert, I really think pre-concert talks with performers, for
Hmm.
audience members to come early,
Absolutely.
and yeah,
Absolutely.
I think those are
Yeah.
all really important. So
Yeah. Yeah. I
um,
think I think so too. Actually, I'm remembering now.
mhm.
I think at Juilliard it was a requisite for your recital, graduation recital. You need to give a speech
Oh, okay.
also at some point. But the music to, and I hope I'm not, maybe I'm wrong about this or
Mm,
something, but it's um yeah, I think everything you say is absolutely on yeah, on this
mm,
on the
mm.
on the spot, on the
Yeah.
dot, or however it's called. Yeah, spot on. That's it.
Spot on.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
It's
And
funny. Yeah.
mhm. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was thinking. Um, well, this is it's tied down. Maybe we should shouldn't show this. But I think of, when you watch a basketball game, there's always
Yeah.
a commentator explaining
Right.
to you what's happening.
Right.
Or when you like in as in that's not even, that's an exhibition, but it's another.
Yeah.
But in in opera also you have the text and like always subtitles when you
Mm,
watch a movie, it's the same. So it helps if someone, especially the performer, walks you through
yeah,
what's happening.
yeah,
um and I was thinking the concert, there's a space for this formality of the concert, where people make time and they sit
yeah,
down and they listen, and it's like you see the music, and that's.
yeah,
But on the other hand, let's also not forget, I mean, in the 19th century or even the 20th century, there were all these salon settings or
yeah,
Schubert
yeah,
where I'm
yeah,
sure people would be talking
right,
normally, and they would talk about the music, I'm
yeah,
sure, or
yeah,
introduce a new piece and then play it in sort of more salon setting.
yeah, yeah,
And that suits a lot of the music that we play in recitals
right,
or in chamber music. So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, and that's a great point because I feel like, I mean, of course, classical music is a revered art form, but in some ways, I feel like we've kind of put it too high on a pedestal. And
yeah,
and what you were saying
yeah,
earlier about, like,
yeah,
Mozart and other composers, they performed in like more intimate settings, and they, had food and drank, and
yeah,
that's kind of how they introduced a lot of their works. And I think
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
really good point. Yeah,
Uh, It's yeah, you're right. It's like that. And it's the same goes sometimes with working with certain composers, and that's why the score is, everything is important, but it's not everything.
right,
Not everything is in the score, right?
right.
So I've heard, I don't know if it has to do, but Rachmaninoff often plays pieces ignoring his own markings, and he's probably the best pianist that ever lived, or one of the best, right?
Right, right.
So it's dangerous to take some things too literally, or to,
Yeah,
on the other hand, like ignoring markings for no good reason is
right,
obviously, it's like
right.
you know
Yeah,
not acceptable. But yeah, it's not an easy job,
yeah.
or well, job is not the right word. An easy
Easy task.
undertaking.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, easy
undertaking. I like
task.
I like undertaking better.
Easy. Well, I know it sounds more pretentious.
No, no, no. It's
I
just
know.
right. Just right.